What is the idea behind this book?
Be different. I think this is the motto of this book.
The love. Bye.
Bye.
But that's, in the end, that is the goal. We want to capture love. My name is Veronika. This is my mother.
Yes, my name is Tanya.
We will be sharing this kitchen for this one time, which will, well, I can feel problems.
This will not be very easy.
No, it will not be very easy. We'll talk a lot.
We'll try to overcome the difficulties of opinions
Yes.
with regard to the usage of products and how they are to be served.
Yes, lots of differences.
No lemon. Please, no lemon into this.
My mom is an exceptional cook. She's amazing. She has inspired so many people, and she has changed lives of so many people through her cooking and through not just the food. It's not that. It's not just that. It's this whole experience of coming home to somebody whose doors are so open, not just the physical doors of the house, but the doors of the heart, the soul, the love. So we want to get that captured.
To be honest, I'm not a professional cook, so I just love it. I think the best thing not to be ruled or moved or indoctrinated by all sorts of recipes.
Oh my God! Look at that! Filming cooking is way different from actually cooking. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and we still haven't had the starters yet. But this actually is my favorite part of the whole thing, and that is plating, because that is an art in its own right. And from the simplest dishes, you can create something absolutely magical.
Like in life in general, you cannot be ruled by certain rules established for the whole mankind, because this is your own life, and cooking and food is a very indispensable part of it.
Being spontaneous is important, and being free is important. I remember many dishes, the Russian dumplings that she makes like nobody else does, and those memories, if I wouldn't have that, I would probably not remember much of my childhood at all. So that is my kind of my roots, my my connection to my past, and her cooking was so different that I thought there is something else. You know, life can be different. Life can be better.
I think it is very important that there are some traditions do run in your family, because it makes this connection, this continuity of generations. The beauty of today's life is that we can travel, we can taste different smells and flavors and foods. Those who are really curious, so to say, they really can learn from just visiting, no matter which country. You always can find something of interest which can be further used and presented differently, really not to surprise, not to make us sensational something, but really to make you happy, to make your friends happy, to make your family happy, because they wouldn't bother us how that was cooked. They are interested in the result of it, in the result of your effort.
It's pure creativity. It's an expression of creativity, and creativity, as I believe, is the purest form of consciousness. It's the moment when we forget everything. It's a way to completely disconnect from all the troubles, and you cannot be connected to any troubles while you're cooking, because food is not going to be good, and because you actually do put emotions, and you can taste those emotions later on. It's meditation, It's a form of art, and I don't think it needs any connection. There was my mother walking by.
It's almost done. It takes...
I'll do the next one. Let's put this away.
Yeah. So, but this was not washed?
Wait, I'll do it straight in this thing. Where did I put it?
Куда ты эту самую карету поставила? Интересно.
Okay, this is crazy. Where did I put the mixer? There.
In my childhood, when I was just in the first years of schooling, black caviar was very cheap. It was really just one, and crabs were just, so they were out of favor completely. My grannies, I was very skinny, and they tried to feed me with black caviar and sturgeon, and they were saying, no, it smells terrible. So I would recollect in my childhood events laid by two of my grannies. Every day, so food was not very varied, so I would say. But for big events like birthdays or whatever, those were lavish Russian-style tables.
I was around 20. I was, very young when I moved to Sweden. There was an aha moment, and that was actually when I was living in Sweden, and that was my first contact with everything. I still remember that supermarket, the first supermarket in my life, where I was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. Yeah. The first meeting with soy sauce, going like, oh my God, this is the best thing I ever tasted. I could drink it out of the bottle. Spaghetti, as a contrast to Soviet macaronis, or whatever that was. I remember the first time I had pate. I was looking at it thinking, how can people eat this? Like, that's like, oh my God, it's horrible. And then you try one first bite and you go, whoa, okay, I like it. Life is changing. And a few good cookbooks. Cookbooks are a huge inspiration. And maybe this is why we want to make this cookbook, because for me, cookbooks were, they changed my world.
For us, in interior design education, just, table setting is a great exercise. It's just a great exercise. Table setting, for me, is also an art in itself, because there are traditional ways of setting plates and tissues and glasses on the table. But if you really would like to make something sudden, something special, something unexpected, you really can look around. So look at the stuff you have at home and say, just, I can bring this fabric and can bring this together with some glass or some porcelain or whatever. This is a fantastic exercise, and especially in color scheme and so in fabric, in how materials come together. Because, well, it does mean that you could put whatever's on the table. There should be some story behind it. And in fact, if you are able really to tell a story about your table setting, it will be a great table, really a great table.
Okay, I think everybody knows that you don't need to be a chef to cook. Cut an apple, put it on a plate, serve it as the main course, and let people think you're crazy. But why not?
About 10 years ago, I was crazy enough to invite members of the royal families as our guests to Moscow. They agreed to come at our invitation, Prince Michael and Princess Michael of Kent. We had to arrange some dinner as host for our guests and for some of our friends in the premises of the school. What we actually did, my daughter and I, we cooked ourselves for these distinguished guests. They couldn't believe it, that we did it ourselves, just two of us on our own, because all others were scared really to come up, and there was no professional kitchen, and therefore just to do good food at home for the friends and for family does not mean that you should go to some cook school, to some cooking school. So it's not. You really just ruled by creativity, by imagination, by some memories which come all of a sudden.
What I really hope is that people who have not started cooking will, because it really changes the life. I mean, it's just fun. It's just beautiful. It's wonderful. And it makes everything so much more eloquent. In the end, life is those memories that we make, and food are those memories that we make.
It is very important to cook for yourself, because it seems to be this is just, you know, some sort of self-respect, self-appreciation. It's like by Bible. So you really need to love yourself first and then love the others as much as you do yourself. Therefore, if you don't cook it for yourself, maybe not every evening, but from time to time, you really need to invent something.
I don't necessarily want anybody to follow our recipes or do what we are doing. Yeah, get rid of the fear. It's not about being good in the kitchen. You can be the worst chef on the planet. You can make some outrageous, disgusting meals, but if you're having fun, everybody's going to remember it. I really would like people to take just one tiny step above the usual, mundane, everyday life. To just one tiny step and see how it feels. And they will like it. I know they will like it. Because what's not to like?